I am very happy to share that we have Mr. Sachin Potni, senior IT professional from Bangalore. He has last month successfully completed his CFP certification in regular pathway. All first four exam average 70% and fifth exam with A grade 83%. Congratulations, Sachin ji.
Thank you, Keyur sir. It's all thanks to your training, guidance that I could get all these success. But yeah, really happy that I'm through with this journey, the first part of learning journey, and now looking forward to the next steps in this journey, sir.
Yes, yes. So definitely my training is best, but same time you have also invested your quality time and you did your best. And when coach best and student or aspirant best is combined, we can deliver the excellence result. So when you did that first part is right. So definitely foundation is built and now building a basically independent practice, okay, would be a far easier than someone who just completed in letter, okay, and looking forward some kind of practice. So it is as good as someone who don't have a domain expertise and starting something great, but that great cannot be converted into reality. So let, for the benefit of your friend, family, colleagues, because you have started new journey and successfully completed new journey, if I narrate that you started your new journey in April 2019 and successfully completed this journey in January 2020, almost 18 months of hard work you did, almost I can say that 1000 plus hours of time investment you did. So this objective of digital meeting is twin. One is that you can we can communicate to your friend, colleague, relatives. You are now having, apart from IT domain expertise, you are also having a domain expertise in personal financial planning, and you can help them into building their comprehensive financial plan, as well as those who are aspiring CFP, those who are maybe young IT professionals or young engineers working into corporate. If they are looking to become a CFP certification, so this can helpful to take a right career choice or right choice. So how they can be benefit as an investor and how they can help, how CFP certification or right coaching can help to be a better in the personal and professional career. So Sachinji, for benefit of all stakeholder, I request you can start with your detailed introduction and then we'll take it forward for another 30 to 45 minutes. Time is not constrained because it is a something we need to celebrate for the benefit of all stakeholder. Yes, Sachinji.
Sure, sure, sir. Thanks for this opportunity. So my name is Sachin. I live in Bangalore. I am a senior IT professional. Now before getting into IT, I did my engineering from Pune University, and then got into IT. Spent almost more than 20 years now in IT. Also got a chance to do my PG from IIM Bangalore. So I finished that as well. And while, of course, I've been an IT professional all through my life, I have also been, if you can say, a hobby investor. Thanks to my dad, who inculcated, this financial rigor in me at a very young age. He was a banker, but he was very clued into all the latest things, mutual funds, stocks, and all those things. So I picked some of those trades very early, and I've been investing for close to 20 years from the time I started my professional journey in IT field. And it has been more of a hobby, passion, interest. So of course, I stayed clued in with that. And then there was a point when I decided I wanted to do a little bit more in that field. And that's where I enrolled into the CFP journey in 2019. And of course, then the COVID happened. So my target shifted by about 6 months. I wanted to finish in a year, but took about 18 months as there was a delay, no exams and other things. But yeah, that's how it has been. I still continue to be in IT. I'm very passionate about IT and the job which I do. But yes, this is another passion which I have, and I wanted to nurture it at the right time and spend more time and gain expertise instead of just having a know-how I wanted to move from just a know-how and good to do things to an actual expertise in this area. And that's where I am. And that's where I finished my CFP certification just last month in January. And now looking forward to bigger things in life.
Good, very good. Once again, congratulations and all the best for the good thing, because India needs qualified professionals, because we have a distributors since last 50 years, but we
Right.
don't have a less than 1%. We have a, you can say, a true financial planner, and I'm sure that once you have completed, you must be able to help and transform the 100 plus family over a period of time in maybe 3 to 5 years to plan their financial life in a better way. So now let me start with a little different discussion. Okay, as you said that you have been investing in, you can say, financial market, or you, as you started your career, and since you are investing for tax saving purpose, or maybe for the other purposes, wealth creation purpose. So once you have completed CFP certification, okay, after that, if you have to identify your top three key mistakes, because it was because of lack of education only. At the time, you didn't had education, and now you had that domain expertise. So what are the three key mistakes, investment mistakes, you can identify?
Right. So the first mistake I would say, sir, was investing in NFOs.
Okay.
Right, new fund offerings or new stock offerings. Whenever it
Hmm.
comes, I used to diligently follow, read the reports, and then invest.
Hmm.
And now I realize it was not really worth all the time and effort.
Hmm.
Most of them gave very average returns
Hmm.
in first place, and many times they get so oversubscribed that you get a very very small chunk as a retail investor,
Hmm.
which hardly makes a difference. So one mistake I did was probably invest in the stock NFOs and to some extent mutual fund NFOs. I didn't do too much of mutual fund NFOs because I was aware there's way too much of upfront commission coming in,
Hmm.
and it doesn't. So I was aware, so I didn't do much of mutual funds, but
Hmm.
new stocks, first time offerings, I did invest. That was the first mistake.
Hmm.
Second mistake I did was I think I played it way too conservative.
Hmm.
Right? By conservative, I mean my asset allocation.
Okay.
I did invest in stocks and I did invest in mutual funds, but those were relatively smaller amounts as compared to what I could have done. And if I would have known that when your young age is on your side, you can take much higher risk. If I had those concepts much more clear, I think I would have taken probably more calculated risk. But I think I kept my asset allocation very, very conservative during my early years. Is what I would say. That's the second thing. The third thing probably I did was I was excessively focused on clearing my home loan. Right, being a typical middle class, higher middle class, somehow I have not been very comfortable with loans, and I never
Okay.
took any other big loans. So I never took credit card loan, no car loan, nothing. But
Okay.
for house buying a house, I did have a substantial loan, and I think I was unnecessarily too worried and too focused on just finishing that off without really thinking about the overall building of financial assets or building of an emergency fund and all those things, which I realized after probably getting more engaged in this program. And now I have a much, balanced asset allocation as well as emergency fund and all those things in place. So probably when I talk a little bit more, I'll give some examples of how I changed some of my investment patterns and how, thanks to all this knowledge, the COVID didn't affect me at all in my personal finance.
Good, very good. So if I summarize quickly for benefit of participants, so one, Sachinji said that IPO, stock IPO, okay, because 80% of time the stock IPOs are overpriced, okay, and even the oversubscribed. So there are many good stocks are available, which is an existing market. Okay, secondary market we can invest. Okay, or second is that instead of investing in mutual fund NFO, if we can stick to a SIP or STP in a good fund having the 5 to 10 years of track record, which can have a, you can say, better risk adjusted return. Second, what point I liked very much, okay, even though when he said he was young, okay, his asset allocation was skewed toward the debt asset allocation. If I'm right, it was example 70% debt and 30% equity for maybe first 15 years, instead of having the 70% or 60% equity and 40 or 30% in debt. So if he could did 15 years before, and if he has invested example X amount, he would be having a double wealth, because of key your asset allocation was towards the equity. And again, when we invest in a long term through mutual funds specifically, so it is the again a very calculative risk. And we have seen that most of mutual fund in a long term delivered the 12-13% return versus the average fixed deposit return of maybe between 6 to 8%. Okay, so that is also very important. So good, very good. So I am sure that now you have corrected the mistake, or you have modified your investment plan. So let go into the one by one in discussion. So once as you said that you are passionate about the learning the personal finance or about the money management, okay, as an investor. Now, what motivated in maybe April 2019, okay, which inspired to do a formal certification course?
Yes, sir. So two primary reasons for doing that, sir. So first thing is most of the people think about retirement, right? When can I retire? For me, it was slightly different. For me, I'm very clear. I want to keep working. I don't think I'll want to ever retire, like not do anything. And in IT, typically a lifespan of any IT professional is usually up to, I think up to, in the current situation, maybe up to age of 50. After that, you are past your peak, and you can still continue to have a job. But for most of the people beyond 50, life may be difficult. Or even if you're working in IT, at the most, even if you stretch and do certain things to extend, by 58 you are done for sure, right? You have to retire. And for me, my funda was, if I'm able to maintain my good health, I think I would want to work a little late, in 60s, 70s as well, and do something which I love, so that it doesn't become like a work. It's more of a passion, something I would like to do. And that's where I thought through, and I said, since I'm so passionate about it, I thought I'm good in this subject as well. It comes to me naturally. Numbers has always been I've been more comfortable with numbers than languages. So I said, why not think about a second career itself? And even though there is no need for me to switch a career right now, this is more of something which I can eventually switch whenever I wish to. So I always wanted a backup plan, a plan B, and an option to do something which I also like to do along with IT. So that was one reason, sir. The second reason was, of course, to have better insights and expertise in managing my own finance. Like typically in IT, in your 40s is when you hit your peak, both in terms of your professional growth as well as your income growth. And I wanted to be sure I'm just not relying on the advice which I read in financial magazines, but actually get into more details and do something and gain expertise for my own personal finance and for my near and dear ones. So these were the two reasons, sir, that definitely look to have a second career after I'm done with IT, whenever that time comes. And second thing is to have more expertise in managing my own finance.
Very good. And you will surprised to know that when you read any bestseller personal finance book, we call it self-help book, whether it is from Robert Kiyosaki or Tony Robbins or anyone, indirectly most often is telling first and foremost important thing that you must have a basic knowledge about the personal finance. You can't rely completely on third party, because there is a chance that they are into distribution business, whether the person is independent professional or person is example working in bank. They may end up with the or you may end up with the misbuying. Because of that, they may not have an idea about the suitability of products, which could be a best suitability as per your life cycle or as per your need, because it is more about the selling a product. Okay, so even one senior citizen example got just 1 crore rupees, and maybe he inspired to buy an alternative investment plan, which minimum requirement is 1 crore. Okay, so that's how chances that which is a completely not suitable for the senior citizen having only 1 crore corpus, but because that wealth RM came to know that the client has 1 crore plus in bank FD or some kind of saving account. Okay, and just motivated to sell him without understanding his risk profile, etc. So it is very important for every investor to have a minimum expertise or minimum understanding level of personal finance. And if you blame later on to the third party, to a seller, then basically it is the indirectly you are responsible for all this outcome. And second, as you rightly said, that when you decide to take it as a second career, definitely you must have a 20-25 years of experience in your IT profession. So you can club your IT profession experience plus this personal finance domain, and you can create some kind of a basically independent consultation, where into one is into IT consultation as well as into personal financial planning consultation. Good, very good. So now if we go ahead and as you know that any professional certification like example CFP or CA, CFA, one can pursue in self-study. Okay, where reading basically books provided by the institute, any examination body, or maybe going through the various reference book and complete the certification. And second is that they can offer the coaching. So what inspired to basically offer the coaching, okay, instead of doing a self-study in certification?
Right. So, sir, two important points on that. So the first one is the kind of job profile I am in right now. Time is the most critical thing for me today. I really didn't want to waste my 1 or 2 years trying a self-study option or just go to any uh, service provider or program provider and just buy their material and just try to do, because then I would have wasted another year or two in doing that if it doesn't work. And of course, I personally do a lot of self-study to keep updated on the IT happenings and all that stuff. But I thought in the personal finance area, I wanted to have a very solid foundation. And that's where having a coach or a guru who can show you a path, and then you have to work on that path all by yourself anyway. But I wanted a coach or mentor who can show me that path, build a very solid foundation on which I can build on. And that's the reason I decided to go with a coach than just try it out myself. All these years, anyway, I have been reading all possible finance magazines, ET Wealth, Outlook Money, you name it, and I'll have a subscription to it. But this time I thought I will, since I had this in mind that I'll also use this as a second career at some point of time. I really wanted a professional education and a solid foundation on which I can build that on, and not just go with some self-study option. That was the most important. Lack of time and desire to build a strong foundation, because at some point I may want to do it as a second.
Because it is very important that if you go with any professional coach, so you save the time as well as you get the required domain expertise. There are many students in across the certification, whether it is a CFP or CFA or CA or anyone, if you do it in self-study or just buy some books and do it, chances that you may complete with 2-3 attempts. But end of the day, when you go to a job market for an interview, you will find the all aspirants have completed that certification. So there is a testing of domain expertise. So then you find yourself in problem. Or maybe if you go to a job, if you go for an interview, not interview example, you are independent professional and look meeting a client, and if you cannot demonstrate your expertise to a potential client, then again client may think that why I should switch to a new advisor if I am satisfied with my existing one, if I cannot demonstrate the some qualitative benefit to the potential clients. Because every client has one or way other way, there are distributors already aligned, whether it is independent or whether it is a corporate distributors. Okay, so now if we move ahead, once you have decided coaching option, then again there were two options. One is that you can go for a maybe some coaching class in Bangalore, online or offline, where they may give you a at a training, or you can say online offline training at maybe between 30 to 40,000. And then you opted with me and you paid almost 2x of fee. Okay, again you have had invested almost 2x time also, because you realize that our process was a long process. So what was the specific reason for investing 2x time and 2x money with Usha?
So this one was very simple, sir, and I made this decision within literally 1 week or 10 days. One phone call to you, and I was done. And the way I went about it is again based on my experience in IT. In IT, sir, the best people I have hired have been people through references. You talk to someone who knows someone and who can vouch for him or her. With references, things have always worked the best. So all I did was talk to another CFP, who
Monica,
the same apartment, who was your student, and then she said, "Yeah, I did from Keyur sir, and he has really made sure my fundamentals are strong." And she has a very, very well-established practice now. She's a good friend of mine now here, and she said, "Yeah, that's what I would recommend. That's it." I didn't do any further research. I just gave you a call, had a quick discussion, and I just signed up. The only thing I was skeptical was how will the whole remote thing work, right? I think the only thing I asked is, do I get to come there for a crash course for 7 days and then I learn over CDs? And you said, no, there is no such option, Sachin. You just have to go through my CDs, and of course you get an option to attend one of my workshops. But yeah, most of the coaching will be online. That was the only part of hesitancy, that how will the online thing work, that too for a long duration like 6-7 months. Will I be motivated enough to keep learning on my own, or will my work priorities take over and it will just fizzle out? That was the only slight doubt in my mind, but I decided to take a chance with that, considering you had such a good recommendation coming in from Monica. So I just went ahead and signed up with you. That's it, just one phone call and I had signed up. I don't think I took much time in getting convinced.
Okay. So now let's continue the discussion. And you said that video lectures, because Zoom came in 2020, but I was firm belief that most of the participants cannot travel to Mumbai even in crash course for 7 days, and even they travel and attend that crash course, it is not possible to digest in single go. Okay, so I conducted the last version. I conducted the 18 full day workshop, which is a 150 hours training, live recorded and converted into the set of 45 DVDs. Okay, and then definitely I provide the online support. Okay, so 90% is work doing through the video lectures, and 10% through every day evening between 5 to 8 solving the subject query and practical query of a student. So how did you find video lectures? Because I am sure that you are IT professionals also. Okay, so you can give a better feedback and genuine feedback. What was your experience about it?
Right. So I was pleasantly surprised, sir, with the way the video lectures were done. Like I said, that was the only part I was a little skeptical about how
Hmm,
that will go.
hmm,
But that was a wonderful experience. I almost felt as if I am sitting there in the classroom. You
hmm,
had a live students as well as part
hmm,
of it, which made it very, very
hmm,
interesting instead of just one single monologue.
hmm,
And it was almost a feeling like, yeah, you're sitting in a classroom
hmm,
and studying it. And the best advantage was flexibility. Even though
hmm,
you get that classroom experience, I could still listen to it at 11 o'clock in the night after finishing my work, or
hmm,
5 a.m. in the morning.
hmm,
That's the time I used to typically study. So
hmm,
that flexibility combined with the way you had shot it
hmm,
has been absolutely amazing. So great experience there, sir. And now the technology has moved on, so I'm sure moving forward, there will be better ways to access the same content.
hmm,
DVDs is now kind of getting outdated, so I'm sure at some point it will change to some other platform. But the content and
hmm,
then the way you have put it has
hmm,
been absolutely amazing. I almost felt I was there in the
hmm,
classroom with you.
hmm,
And then that quick 3-day session with you
hmm.
in person for that workshop. I traveled all the way from
Yes,
Bangalore to
yes.
Mumbai. I think that just then reinforced all those concepts. So that combination was absolutely amazing. But yeah, that whole concept of video learning, especially with everybody getting so busy and distance becoming a problem, I think
Hmm,
it was a fantastic way to learn.
hmm,
And I made very, very detailed notes out of those video learning sessions. 3
hmm,
full-scale books
hmm,
is what I have. And I think that was the best part because all the exams I could absolutely attend to, solve
hmm,
based on those books. And more than exams, now my fundamentals are very, very clear. And it
hmm,
gives me great confidence that I can put a plan for anybody and stand by that plan and say with conviction that this is the best you can get even if you go out in the market. And that is all thanks to those detailed
yes.
concepts and drawing on the whiteboard and explaining, to the nth level of detail, including complex things like bucket strategy and other things.
Hmm,
Uh, that has been a wonderful experience. Sometimes I wish I could have gone through that whole set one more time. Is what I thought, but yeah, time was critical. I could not do a second round with that, but I had taken very detailed notes, and I
hmm,
think that has helped me clear all the 5 exams, as well
hmm.
as it will help me as I start my professional journey.
Yes, yes.
So fantastic experience, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So main advantage of live recorded classroom lecture is that even though technology is there, but Zoom cannot replace the classroom experience. Zoom can be like an online meeting, what we are doing right now. I can teach you on a Zoom. It could be for maybe a short-term discussion, or maybe some product selling or some kind of brush up. It can be possible. So when I conducted the 18 full day workshop, which is a 150 hours training, okay, so that student has an option to complete in 4 month period, and 4 months is sufficient period where one can sit average 2 to 3 hours per day as per his or her convenience. Okay, anytime, as I said, Sachin said, morning or late evening. And if any queries, one can connect with the mentor in every day evening between 5 to 8 and solve the subject and practical queries. And as you rightly said that DVD was the only option available pre-pandemic, because of it was continued since 2012, because first time I introduced in 2012, and it was continued till 2020. But post pandemic, I converted all this into a Google link. It's like a now when student enroll, he or she doesn't get the physical DVD, he or she receives the download link from the Google Drive, and one can download it and again this started. So the physical courier, physical hard disk and physical courier is replaced thanks to the you can say post pandemic. Otherwise, when you were happy with the what going on, okay, so we continued. But when we realized that now it is a high time to go one step ahead, so it helped. But rest of everything is same. Only the now physical DVD and physical courier is not there. Because why I sent a physical DVD? Because in case by any reason, if it is a that particular video is deleted, so one can copy from the that DVD, because DVD is a permanent kind of activity. But sometimes pen drive or maybe some kind of download link uh, may be deleted again sent. But again, Google Drive has provided that option that you can permanently store and give a basically link to the participant. Okay, so anytime the participant can, even if it is deleted any chance, so he has access for a next 6 months to download it.
To the drive, absolutely.
Okay, so now if we continue our discussion, so if you have to narrate in last 18 months when you completed CAP certification, you completed thorough learning. So what are the three important key personal benefit you had in last, and today you feel that these are three important key benefit to Sachin ji?
Right, sir. So, and I think I did this at a very, very right time, right? Nobody expected something like COVID to come in and hit us.
Yes, yes.
But even though when such a serious thing like COVID came in and the markets crashed all the way from 42,000 to 26, 27,000.
Yes, yes.
I did not panic at all, thanks to this training which I had gone through. In fact, what I did was I switched to tactical allocation and I started a weekly SIP since the markets were kind of going down, and nobody knew how much down it will go.
Yes.
But one thing I was very sure that maybe it will take 3 years. I never expected it to recover in 1 year, but I was sure at some point this is going to pass and there will be returns which will come back. So what I had started when the markets crashed in March was I did a tactical allocation and started a weekly SIP to log in at whatever levels the market was moving in. Yes. I still didn't have the courage. Nobody knows how much it will fall. So I didn't do a lump sum investment, but I did a very aggressive weekly SIP plan for about 6 to 8 months, for which I saw the returns as well. When the markets bounced back, in hindsight, it was a fantastic move. That was one. Second thing which really helped again for me not to panic in this situation was I had by now created a very strong emergency corpus as well in liquid instruments. So it helped me in two ways. I had a corpus to invest in a weekly SIP mode, number one. Number two, I was not too worried about any of these things affecting unexpected medical expense or anything coming up as well, because I had that whole fund ready. That was the second advantage. Third thing which I did again thanks to this training and experience of COVID was usually I would maintain 6 to 7 months into an emergency corpus. I just extended that to about 10 to 12 months considering the whole uncertainty which was prevailing. And the third major point was earlier, like I said, I was obsessed on finishing off my home loan. And then I realized while I was cutting my debt very, very fast, I didn't have enough financial assets with me, because anything I saved, I was just pushing to finish the loan. I think I got a very good balance in that as well. And the rates were crashing as well. So I went about resetting my home loan rates at a nominal payment of 2,000, 3,000 and all as well, and got advantage of the lower rates. And instead of just finishing off the loan, changing the rate itself got my tenure down. And that also gave me a confidence that I can use all this surplus not just to pay off loan, but also build financial assets. So now I have a very good balance of my loan is absolutely under control, just few more years and I'll be done with the housing loan in line with my financial independence plan. I have a timeline in mind, and I am confident of finishing the loan at that time, by the time I want to achieve that. And I have a good set of now financial assets as well, be it emergency fund, be it right allocations into equity, as well as required the debt, short-term debts and other things, short-term debt plans and other things as well. So it has got now a focused approach. Earlier, I was still saving, I was still investing, but I would just do it at random. Now I have a very clear goals attached to each and every investment, and I know exactly why I am doing this and what is the purpose of doing this and how long I'm going to do a particular investment. I think that clarity is there after going for CFP. Earlier, like I said, I used to invest, but I'll just invest at random. Oh, let me put 50,000 in PPF. Oh, now let me start an SIP in a mid cap fund. Let me start an SIP in equity fund. Now, if I'm starting a SIP in mid cap or a small cap, let's say, there's a goal there I know for what I'm saving and what is the duration and whether I'm willing to take that kind of a risk based on what asset I choose to invest. So that clarity is absolutely there. And thanks to that clarity, I think it gives me a lot of peace of mind as well, because I know exactly where I'm going and what I need to be able to have a good, happy life and I know my targets of financial independence as well. So I think that has given me great clarity in life, and that just takes off a lot of your anxiety, worry, and other things, and helps you focus on your current job as well as any additional things what you aspire to do in life, like starting up a CFP practice. So that is how it has helped, sir. And that is how it has changed my perspective significantly in last 18 months.
Excellent, excellent. And each investor, those who are specifically, whether he or she is in early age 30 or maybe middle age 40, if you have a financial wellness in place, so that financial wellness, because financial wellness is about having the contingency fund, having the proper insurance coverage, having the plan for your certain goal like retirement or son or daughter's higher education and marriage. So when financial wellness is in place, so it gives you a much uh, benefit, is peace of mind, is happiness, and you find that yes, your life is in your control. Otherwise, if someone who is doing a ad hoc investment, maybe highly qualified IT professional, okay, but zero on a or beginner level on the you can say on a personal finance, so he is behaving an emotional investor. So in panic, he'll sell the investment in capital market, whether it is mutual fund or stocks. And when market is bullish, he will buy. So, so education in IT or engineer is helpful to earn a good income, but to save and create a wealth for your future goal, okay, and creating a financial wellness plan, you need a one minimum basic domain expertise, as well as if you can appoint a qualified professional like certified financial planner, so who can help you to design that financial wellness plan. And I'm sure that now your friend, family, colleague, relative, okay, maybe chances out of 100, one may like to do a CFP certification, but 99 is looking for a qualified professional. So Sachinji can provide this financial wellness to live happy and healthy and you can say peaceful life in a long-term period. Okay, so Sachinji has prepared the one comprehensive financial plan of the client. So right now I'll share the screen. Sachinji, you can quickly in 10 15 minutes share the about the financial wellness plan. So the participants or your friend colleague can come to know how you can help them to construct their financial plan. Is it visible to you?
Yes, sir. It is. It is. It is visible.
Yes.
Thanks for sharing. And
Okay.
I'll just quickly give a context of who is the person without really sharing the name for
Yes, yes.
confidentiality reasons. So this is about this. I prepared this plan for one of my friends in Mumbai. She lives in Mumbai, lives with her husband, no kids, is a very successful IT professional, and this she had never been to a financial professional. Is a very conservative investor, completely risk averse. She had pretty much zero investments in equity, and it was a little bit unique, and that's the reason I thought I'll talk about this plan. I did another 5, 10 more at least, but I thought this was a little unique case. We always do financial plan for a family, sir, right? So we
Hmm.
always consider income and liabilities and other things of both husband and wife. But in this case, my client or my friend was very clear that since her husband runs a business which goes very up and down, the cash flows are very erratic, there are liabilities coming up from that and other things. She didn't want to consider any of that income in the plan. So this plan, while it is planned for a couple, it considers only her income and her aspiration. Of course, some of the goals like vacation and all are joint goals, but it considers purely that income, and whatever her husband has, that is all extra additional, which we decided not to consider for these basic goals and calculations. So that is how this plan goes. And the key goals where she's 45 right now, and while she expects to continue working till 60, the key ask was by 50 I should be at least partially independent, financially independent. And what I mean by that is, instead of doing a typical 9 to 6 job, she wanted to come out of the standard corporate rat race and then go work more like a consultant or a part-time professional, and by which be ready to take an income cut as large as maybe even 50%, and still have the ability to lead the same quality of life. So that was one of the unique aspect. Second thing is she loves traveling, so definitely she wanted a significant amount to be marked for travel, and we'll talk about some of the complexities which we got into when we actually decided or started putting numbers on the paper. But that was the second goal. Third thing is she wanted to spend money on social cause. She is very passionate about spending money in charity, specifically on children's education cause. So she had a figure in mind, and we worked few things around that. And then another thing, what she realized is she wanted a medical emergency corpus created as well, for any medical emergencies, as a couple they get into their 50s and 60s and so on. So those were the broad level goals, and that was the background, sir,
Okay.
for this particular case. Now moving on, she has been in IT for a long, so she has pretty decent level of assets. So I just put it in financial assets and non-financial assets. Uh, like I said, all the investments have been in conservative investments, either FDs or PF or PPF. Lot of insurance as well, lot of money going into insurance as well, and I'll talk about that a little later. No investments in mutual funds, extremely risk averse.
Mhm.
So zero in mutual funds or any market linked things. Of course, she got there was a mis-selling in terms of an ULIP. I'll talk about that later when I cover the vacation plan. But we discovered that in the second round, and I'll speak about that a little later. Uh, in terms of non-financial assets, two houses, both in Mumbai. One is a smaller one, another a bigger one where she stays currently. Two personal cars with drivers and other luxuries, what you typically expect from a middle class, higher middle class family. And both the houses are paid for. There is no loan whatsoever. Uh, no liabilities at all for this couple. Zero liabilities, not even a housing loan. Everything was paid for.
Okay,
Yeah.
both have just sorry to interrupt you. Both house for self-occupied or second house is for is on rental.
One house is given on rental and one is self-occupied.
Okay, okay. Yes, please continue.
Yeah. Liability is zero. Income after taxes and everything is about 2.5 lakhs per month. That was the income. Monthly expenses, typical expenses, standard expenses itself was around 1 lakh. Um, is what she thought, but when we got into details, we realized it's actually more, because every month you end up doing some lifestyle spend or the other. So we decided to, instead of take it an MHE of 1 lakh, we decided to bump it up to 1.2 lakhs, um, because that was more practical, and she
Hmm.
agreed with that as well. And then she thought that, yeah, medical expenses and other things will anyway come in, so we decided to push that from 1 lakh to 1.2 lakhs for all our calculations. Now, this is a quick timeline to see how I went about calculating the need for a retirement fund. So the first one is goal one, retirement planning, and we kept it pretty simple to start with, since she had no exposure to this whole concept of retirement planning. We decided to assume 1.2 lakhs as the MHE right now, and then we calculated what will be the corpus needed for her between age 50 and 60, where she will still work, but she will need probably partial funding from the corpus. 50% of her MHE will get taken care by the consultancy jobs which she did. So I put a factor of zero point 0.5 and got an MHE required at the age of 50 through the retirement corpus, because other 50% she was very confident that she will work and get that funded. So we took out, we calculated what is the corpus needed to sustain between 50 and 60. That was the first bucket. Then I calculated corpus what is required to sustain between 60 and 70 years of age. That's the second bucket. And then what is the corpus needed from 70 till about 85, which is her life expectancy. So we did, uh, uh, I calculated corpus at three different stages. And then I, of course, discounted it down, because I assumed she will invest this money at a return of 7.6%, which is about 80% debt, 20% equity. Uh, since I didn't want her to take too much of risk, because she was completely risk averse. So I just nudged her to get some equity exposure at least to beat the inflation. So we decided to settle for an 80-20 kind of balance. And if you add all these three buckets, sir, her requirement came to about 3 crore 74 lakhs at the age of 50 as a corpus, if she has to retire partially by 50 and then retire completely by age of 60.
Perfect.
So that's the calculation we did. Then what I did is I just added up all her current investments. What is the present value of those investments? I also assumed in discussion with her how much she will continue to contribute for PF, PPF, and other things. And then at the age of 50, what will be her financial assets? That's what I calculated. And it came to about 2 crores of financial assets, just by not doing anything, just continuing with what she is doing today,
This is a
right?
future value of current investment. Na?
Yes, this is the future value of current investment. Current investment is the PV.
Yes.
And in some cases, we assume a PMT as well, because
Okay.
she will,
Oh, because PPF,
she will
there is a
control.
1.5 lakh is mentioned.
Correct,
Okay,
correct.
perfect.
Right. So we did all that. Then there is a match LIC policy, which will give her 10 lakhs as well at the age of 50. So we added that up as well. So that left us with a deficit, because her corpus target was 3 crore 74 or something, right? And her financial assets were coming to about 2 crores. Uh, and then she has one house which is non-occupied, which is on rental, but the rental yield is very, very low in that case. So one option which I gave her was monetize that asset, and monetize that asset early. And then even if you invest at the most conservative rate of 6%, then it will still give her a crore. And again, we did a conservative calculation. Market value is 1.2 crores, but we still decided to, since it's not in a best locality and other things, we still assumed a conservative price after accounting for brokerage and other things, and assume and recommended that we sell that house today and then invest that for 5 years. Even if she does at a very conservative rate, it will give her 1 crore 33. If she's willing to take a little bit more risk, then this figure will go up. But since it's a retirement calculation, we thought we will stick to the conservative numbers right now. And that then brought down the deficit to just 39 lakhs to reach her goal. And this 39 lakhs we have to kind of get it within the next 5 years. So the next one is a simple calculation to show how can she get this fund this deficit of 39 lakhs. Right. So I did a simple calculation with for 5 years at 3 different rates. If she goes with pure, very, very safe debt investments, then this is the SIP or this is the monthly outgo she will have to cater to. Next was a little bit of debt with very minor equity, right? And then the third one was a slightly aggressive allocation with maybe a balanced fund or a large cap fund, right? And then eventually she settled for the middle ground, which is 8%, which will go with 70% in debt and a little bit of equity kicker, that too with a safe funds like probably the large caps or just a pure play Nifty 50 index fund. So that's the calculation for funding the retirement, and it's very much achievable because today she has a surplus of about 1,20,000 after deducting for all her expenses. So this is very much 50,000 out of that 1,20,000 is very much a doable thing. So she was comfortable with that. The second goal we went about was vacation planning, and first I just went with the numbers what she thought she would want to do, and the goal was very aspirational: 5 lakhs, a spend of 5 lakhs every year at the current price. And obviously in this, and she also thought that the lifestyle inflation is high. She has always upgraded her vacation, so I assumed a higher inflation of 10% in the scenario one. Obviously, with such a large number and a higher inflation, the corpus needed to fund this goal of having a yearly vacation of 5 lakhs in current cost for 25 years came up to a huge value of 2.25 crores. So when I put these numbers and gave a perspective, that really caused a rethink in her mind. And then she said, oh, wow, when you actually put numbers, you realize what it means. And then eventually she decided to change her goal a little bit. So what she did was, instead of doing international vacations every year, then she said, I would want to do a local vacation 1 year and then an international vacation the other year. So then she said, since I already have certain membership and all paid for timeshare basis like a Mahindra and all, she said, realistically calculating, I think 2.5 lakhs per year corpus will also meet my requirement. So we went about recalculating the numbers with 2.5 lakhs per year with a slightly moderate inflation target versus the first 10%. And she also agreed that vacation is an aspirational goal and it is okay to take a higher risk. Earlier, she was, even for vacation, she wanted to invest in fixed deposits, right? Which I thought didn't make sense. And I could push her and convince her, saying it's no harm taking a risk, because if the markets are not doing well, you can always have a smaller vacation that year, right? Or push out by 6 months.
You can
Or
postpone also in case if you
yeah.
can, if you suppose someone in April has a option, has a plan to withdraw 5 lakh rupees, but suppose he or she decided because of this market condition
Correct.
down, not about the COVID, forget the COVID. Okay. So one can postpone for 6 months, and once it is recovered, then withdraw it. That is also possible.
Absolutely. So that's what we did, and look at the difference from a massive 2.25 crore, which looked
Hmm.
like almost impossible. It came down to a 70 lakh 80,000, almost 71 lakh corpus. Now, even with this, if we had to fund it within 5 years, this looked very, very unrealistic, right? Just 95,000 per month for a vacation goal didn't look realistic. So, in the first pass, I parked this. I showed her this calculation, and then we worked out in the second pass, which is not on this plan, we worked out some interesting options. So, what I did was we went into more details on where is her real gap coming in, why she has 2.5 lakhs but her expense is only 1 lakh, so where is that money going in? And then we realized that there are a lot of other additional things she is spending on, like an insurance, a big ULIP plan where she spends almost a lakh or as a premium, which she had not factored in at all. So we reworked all those things. Then there were few insurance policies, ULIPs, which will give out a certain payout as well. And then by using those numbers and calculating those numbers, some ULIPs I have recommended her to stop after 5 years and then use that money to invest in this fund. So we reworked that whole equation, sir, and we got in all those investments which she had not disclosed in the first pass. She had just missed out on those, but by finding that gap between income and expenses, I could figure out something is missing, and then we captured that as well. So eventually, this calculation came to about 30,000 of SIPs every month, and remaining will get funded through the proceeds coming out of either the maturity of those plans or by stopping the premium itself and the reinvesting those. So we could then eventually get her to this goal as well with a realistic number of about 30,000 SIP. Also, what she thought is, since she will be working for another 10 years from 50 to 60, there will be, a certain bonus or a big payout which she will get. So we need not have to assume everything we have to fund by age of 50. Even between 50 and 60, she will be able to contribute to that fund. So we reworked that completely separate, and we got it out to a reasonable number, which is very much achievable. So that was the complexity, but I think we successfully navigated that through. And then the third goal was pretty straightforward, easy. She wanted about a lakh per year for charity. And obviously, I convinced her again that this is charity, this is discretionary. So you can take a little bit of more risk. Don't park funds in 6% returns. So she agreed for a little bit of equity exposure here, and we bumped up the returns to 9%. And since again it is discretionary, we kept an inflation of moderate 4%. Keeping it zero didn't make sense because donating 1 lakh equivalent 20 years later, that 1 lakh equivalent will be very small. So we still assumed an inflation, even though it is charity, but kept it at a modest 4%. So that came to a 13 lakh corpus requirement, and which she could very easily fund through a simple SIP of 17,000, which anyway was available as part of her current income. So that was the third goal, and this is the summary. So her retirement goal was taken care of. The only major step she has to take, and she's making up that mind, and it's not been easy psychologically, is to let go of her second house, monetize that asset. But with monetization of asset, she will be able to reach her goal. If she's not willing to monetize the asset, then obviously that puts the goal at risk, and she will have to push out her retirement by another 5 years. That calculation also I have done and shared with her separately. But that's on the retirement goal. Vacation planning, we reworked it in a different sheet. So this plan got reworked, and the child education got met with a simple SIP into a large cap fund. And then obviously she has already cash available. So creating emergency corpus was no big deal. Recommended her to put 5 lakhs into a liquid fund, and even though returns are modest, don't worry about it. That's an emergency fund. So just leave it there and use it for any contingencies. So that's the plan, sir, what I put together for her, and was successfully able to convince her that not taking a risk can be a big risk, because inflation will then just eat up into all your returns. And now she is kind of convinced. She started with these smaller SIPs in large cap funds and index funds to minimize the risk, because she's not the one who can suddenly take a 30% dip in her portfolio and other things while still keeping 70-80% in debt. So I think that plan is working out well now. The only thing pending is monetization of the house, which she's working on. And with Maharashtra cutting the stamp duty and other things, even the real estate is looking interesting, and I think she may be able to close that deal soon. So overall on track. But yeah, this was one interesting plan which I prepared among another 10, 12 plans, and I thought it would be good to share with you on
Good,
this forum.
very good, excellent. So my question right now, for the benefit of all stakeholder, okay, when you have thoroughly prepared the plan, you have educated her, okay, so what kind of the change you found in her? Because I'm sure that you are one of his friend, one of friend, okay, and connected since long, so you observe friend or maybe colleague. But when this discussion happened over a period of maybe month or 2 months, and education has happened, so what are the change happened in her?
Correct. I think the first thing is at least some willingness to accept and get exposure to equity and understand that it is not like gambling, right? The experiences, what she had heard was from all her friends. So I put 25 lakhs because somebody recommended into a PMS, and the value of that is now only 17 lakhs. And I lost 8 lakhs in that. Or, oh, I bought these funds at stock and I'm down by 40%, and that's a major capital loss. And because of all these stories, she always felt that either you have to be very, very savvy to understand where to invest in equity, and she was very clear, I'm not. So there's no way I can invest in equity. Now with all this education and saying, all you have to do is just put your money in an ETF, let's say, and as long as you believe in India's story, and as long as you think India will grow, obviously the markets will grow, and obviously your investments. So now she's getting comfortable with those concepts, and the first time she's willing to move small parts out of her FD allocations. At the same time, since she's so risk averse, I recommended her to do only SIPs and no lump sum investments, because last thing I wanted to is another 10% correction, and she suddenly sees, oh, my value has dropped down from 10 lakhs to 9 lakhs. I don't want her to panic and then get out of the market as well, right? So we are doing it in a very slow and steady fashion, but I think that shift is now coming in, and there's much more awareness that if you stay invested for long term, equity markets is not a bad place to be in, and it is not really like gambling as long as you're willing to stay invested for the long term. That is one change. Second change is she never thought that she would have to monetize an asset, right? Once you buy gold or house, it's almost forever. But then she realized how she can achieve her goal just by monetizing an asset which she was not really using for her consumption. So that was a big psychological change, and it took a little while to, really believe in that. But yeah, finally, I think she realizes that being just asset rich and cash poor doesn't really help. So yeah, finally, that thought process is changing as well.
Good, very good. So if I summarize for the benefit of all, so even though she is at age of 45, earning take home 2.5 lakh rupees per month after taxes, means she is into a upper middle class bracket, okay, or you can say top 10% population of Mumbai or metro city or India. Even though we have seen that she was not having any financial wellness plan in place, she majority of investor, what they do, she invested or into the specifically real estate, which is a 70% of the total assets, If I say that the total right now is 4 crore, 1 crore is into financial asset and 3 crore into real estate. So out of 75% into real estate. Okay. Second is that again there is a discretionary consumptions, because someone doesn't have a financial wellness plan in place. He or she may think that, oh, I am so rich. Okay. So people start spending money going into mall and going for a small vacations or picnic. And by the time they reach retirement, they realize they are not rich. They spent money and they could not created a good purpose for post-retirement withdrawal. Okay, or maybe for their other important goal in normal family, like children's higher education and marriage. Okay, so that's how that feeling of someone, even though family is into top 10% upper middle class or top 10%, even after creating a financial plan, family or that ladies realize that yes, I need to curtail some of my discretionary expense and build up more savings in a systematic way. Even I need to continue till work till 60, even with concept of 50% withdrawal and 50% earning. I need to compromise in my vacation. I may not afford a 5 lakh, which is not big amount, even reference to foreign vacation. Okay, because today people spend 25-30 lakh rupees if even for go for a Europe vacation till last year for 10-15 days. Okay, specifically for a family of 2-3 member minimum, I'm saying. So we, so here at this juncture, that realization is that yes, one cannot live in today's life. Life is divided into two parts. One is the today, means this month or this year, and second is the future life, which can come after 5 years and 10 years. And if you are not prepared, you are going to find yourself in problem. And that's the reason we have seen that 80% middle class or upper middle class family, they spend like a rich in their working age, and by the time their working age is completing, they realize that they do not have that sizable savings for or wealth to take care of the higher education or marriage of the children, or even for their retirement. Okay, so objective is that if you invest your time and money for education, financial education, at least you can basically transform your personal life as well as professional life. Good, very good. And I'm sure that when we publish this video and you share with your near and dear, so they will realize the need of financial wellness plan to make sure that they can have a not only in couple of years good life, but it is the for a longer period of time, maybe 30, 40, 50 years, till you live you need to live a moderate good life. Okay, so now if we conclude our journey, because already we have completed, but there is no need to worry. I'll divide into two parts and share it if required. So now, if we conclude our discussion, okay, you are a senior IT professional, and IT is the one of the growing industry. Specifically, we can say software or IT and IT services industry. There are many young people join the industry. Okay, so what is the one message you would like to give to a IT professional? Okay, why they first be one educated investor, and how this, because you are a senior position, so there may not be a direct benefit of learning a certification to you, but someone who is age of 20, 25, 30, so how this knowledge of certification can help them to get a better career opportunity within the IT segment?
Absolutely, sir. So I think even in IT, there is a big need of domain expertise, right? So there are two ways for young IT professionals. If you're very passionate about personal finance and want to make a career there full time, then obviously I would highly recommend CFP certification. It gives a very strong base, and it is a professional qualification and experience which you can then use to start your own thing. That is definitely one option for young IT professionals who have a flair for finance. The second one is, in IT you also need a lot of domain expertise. You may still want to work in IT, but you need financial domain expertise. And now, with everything going online, there are so many fintech firms which are coming up as well.
Yes.
And if you have domain expertise, and if you have something like a CFP or a CFA certification along with IT skills, I think that can really put you into a very, very niche segment. I don't think there are too many people who have domain expertise and strong IT skills. So I think that will differentiate you um in this whole big world of IT. And I think that will be an additional advantage, sir. So anybody who is interested in personal finance and wants to make a career out of it, whether while staying in IT or getting out, I think CFP or a CFA is a very, very strong foundation to start the journey. And then there are people who may just want to use it for their own personal benefit. Like in IT, people do earn big salaries pretty early in life, right? So if you have this experience and expertise early in your life, in your 20s and 30s, you can make those differentiated financial decisions which can really make a difference in your life, right? If you know you can have a 70-30 asset allocation and maintain it and not get carried away by market ups and downs, and you start when you're 27 or 30 years of age, by the time you're 60, I think you would have definitely created a huge amount of wealth if you do that. So I think that's the simple message, sir. Don't stay back, just learn more. If you're interested, do it. If you're just not interested, if you think this is not my domain at all, please go ahead and hire a certified financial planner for yourself. And it hardly costs anything when you compare the spends IT professionals do, right? Probably it's worth maybe 3 outings in a 5-star hotel, or hiring a personal gym trainer for 2 months. So that's it. And it can really get your life back on track. So if possible, just do it yourself. If you can't, then please get one qualified fee-based planner probably for yourself to help with your financial journey.
And again, advantage with the, you can say, fee only financial wellness coach. I can say when the certified financial planner like Sachin ji, okay, so objective is that when he invests time in preparing a financial plan, and same time another 50% of time, let's say total time is taken, first 10 hours time is taken to prepare a financial wellness plan, and second 10-15 hours over a period of 1 or 2 months is educating the importance of financial plan. It is not about that you key in the data, you got an output, whether you want to implement, otherwise leave it. It is like a financial wellness coach. Here the beauty of independent fee only CFP practitioner is invest good amount of time with client education, and when the client educated, then he will stick to a plan for a retirement goal or children's higher education goal, or maybe a asset allocation goal also. So here when you invest that time, and if Sachinji decide to charge 1,000 rupees per hour, so 30 hours over a period of 1 year, 30,000. And when you realize the benefit, I can assure that anyone who is in upper middle class or middle class bracket, okay, definitely there would be indirect direct benefit of 1 lakh plus. Because one is you will be start saving more amount by spending a less amount, because you realize the need of long-term financial planning for retirement or children's higher education, marriage, etc. Second is you have a right asset allocation. So instead of having too conservative or too aggressive, you are at a moderate rate, so you get an optimum return versus the aggressive investor may lose the capital and conservative investor may have a loss of return. Okay, so this is a advantage. Third is that you have a required insurance in place, so in case any uncertainty is there, then you need not to liquidate your investment to fund the uncertainty of health insurance, or maybe your term insurance, general insurance, etc. And someone is a mentor. So objective is that if I get an opportunity to hire someone as a mentor for 30 to 40,000 rupees, okay, example, I'm just taking starting point. It would be depend on the client's income and the number of hours of involvement. So if I get a someone who can help me, okay, that's automatically give me more peace of mind. Because if market is into a bad shape, I can just discuss and reconfirm, even though mentor has taught me about the benefit of all this volatility, but I can reconfirm, or in case if any uh, ad hoc investment I have to do, or someone, my relative or friend comes and starts selling some product, I say that I have to reconfirm with my mentor, and if my mentor decides, okay, yes, it is a suitable as per your life goal, then we'll invest. So you can save yourself from mis-selling also, because if your friend or colleague, relative, you cannot say directly no, because of people take it personally and spoiling the relationship. So you said that, okay, why don't you send the brochure or your product detail to you send me, I'll send it to my mentor, and mentor will take a call. Okay, so now that condition, you need not to spoil relation with your friend, colleague, relative. Okay, and someone third party is the deciding factor. So this is the win-win situation. I'm sure that at this juncture, one out of 100 or one out of 1,000 middle class, middle class family understand these benefits. But over a period of time, I'm sure that next 10, 15 years, where the digital technology is growing, so people will start basically invest for paying a coaching fee, financial wellness coaching fee, and hiring a mentor for their financial wellness, because we hire many of the you can say seasoned professionals like top management or middle management. They hire a personal coach, if I'm right, and they talk about the means they learn, or they discuss about the leadership session and some other session, problem solving, negotiation session. So it is the same way you have hired the coach, okay, and you are paying for the financial wellness. And all this learning can be equally applicable in the company's financial, because at this juncture I am doing a CFA level 2. Okay, I realize that principles are same. Only difference is that where the turnover is big, so you have a big difference. Now, in this pandemic, which company have successful uh, multiplied their share price? All are the company those were debt free, because there was no basically outgo was there. They could basically invested some of the additional resources, because they had a cash rich company, invested resources to convert themselves into more future ready, whether it is automobile company or whether it is the manufacturing company, and they come back with the better results. Even though in the within the 12 months of pandemic, Hero Motor example, I don't want to give example of IT services, but let's say Hero Motor has done a better than last year in third quarter. Why? Because it is a cash rich company, no debts. Okay, you have everything good thing in place. So when you are into right direction, you will be able to do a wonder during the pandemic also. Okay, so it was a very good discussion, and 1 hour, more than 60 minutes we invested. So it was a pleasant discussion. So now, if we just summarize the discussion, what one or two key message you would like to give to your investors, maybe your friend near and dears, about the financial wellness planning, and what are your future plans?
Right, sir. So the simple message, if just I have to give one message, it's very clear. You said in one of your classes, there's a eighth wonder in the world, right, which is called compounding, and that works wonders. So yeah, give your investments time to grow, and please either get yourself qualified to make the right choices, or appoint a fee-based planner to do that. That's a simple message I would do, and that will make a substantial change in the wealth what you will create. And if you are in it for a longer term, that eighth wonder of the world, which is compounding, will do wonders, and you will see a massive change in the wealth what you create. If you just either get yourself educated through something like CFP, or appoint somebody who is a qualified CFP to take charge of your finances. That's one. For me personally, sir, the short-term plan for me is pretty much, to be a financial wellness coach and a planner for my friends, family. I already have a backlog. The moment people knew I'm doing this, there were enough people who showed interest, but because of my professional commitments and I wanted to finish this education, I already have a backlog of about 10 families I need to cater to. So I will absolutely go with that. My first line of circle, friends, near and dear ones, who are very keen to have a plan for themselves. So that's the short-term plan. And then the long-term plan is pretty much to get into a fee-based advisory as a long-term thing. That looks like a difficult path whenever I talk to, except for few people like you. Everybody eventually ends up discouraging you. That's a very difficult part to take and not sustainable at this point. But I personally think that will be a path for future, and I plan to get eventually into a fee-based advisory planning. So that's the goal. That's the plan in the medium to long-term trend. And in the meantime, of course, do everything I can to get my finances in order and help all the near and dear ones with financial coaching, planning, and then eventually move to an advisory kind of a thing.
Okay.
So that's the plan, sir.
Thank you very much, and wishing you all the best for your future plan. And definitely, as we are connected through online, so anytime if you find any query or support you require from me, so I will be happy to provide the support. And we are in mission to do a change, because end of the day, life is not about how much you create a wealth and spend for yourself, okay, and live for your next generation. That is the 99 out of 100 are doing. But life is also about doing something different, uh, and which is beneficial to the society. So if we can participate in this different thought process, or be a change agent, and if we can feel that end of our life, yes, we did something different, because end of the day someone become a distributor and earn a 1 crore rupees per annum example, okay, it is not big deal. But someone over a period of time become a independent fee only financial wellness coach and transform example 100 families, okay, to live a better financial life, okay. So you are getting a blessing of 100 family, because they have transformed themselves as a good family in terms of finance. And once finance is transformed, automatically family will be more happy, healthy, and living a peaceful life. So chances that you may not get the same income of distributor example, but you get a more yourself peace of mind and happiness, as well as our family or our clients will get it. So it is a definitely difficult and path where 99 out of 999 out of 1,000 don't want to take it, okay, because they feel that let's choose the easiest path of selling the products, okay. So definitely I'll also participate with you, and if I can support in basically achieving your mission or vision. So I once again thank you very much for joining on a Sunday morning for a more than 1 hour digital meeting. And I'm sure that this video, once we publish, it would be a inspirational and motivational video for the many of the IT professionals, those who are basically looking for improvement in personal finance, or becoming a logical and wise investor compared to emotional investor. Some young IT professional looking for some kind of additional qualification, or looking for a second domain expertise to fast track their career growth in the IT industry. Okay, so I'm sure that this is the unique video what we did in last couple of I can say years also. And thank you very much once again for participating and sharing your honest and hard story with all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure working with you, and the learning continues. So I'm sure we'll have opportunities to stay connected. But thank you
Yes,
very much, sir, for all your
yes,
support.
yes, yes, yes.